how do you know that you've made it as an actor? The answer would obviously vary depending upon whom you ask, but I also think a good indicator that your acting chops are being noticed is having to choose between 2 or more roles. Casting outcomes often boil down to timelines and scheduling, especially when they involve coveted actors. From Emily Blunt to Tom Hanks, let's have a look at actors who missed out on iconic roles because of other movies. Emily Blunt never fails to hit it out of the park when it comes to her performances. She was uncanny as the sassy and hardworking Emily in The Devil Wears Prada, and she lent a tenacity to A Quiet Place that elevates it to new heights. That's why I can't help but wonder how interesting she would have been as Black Widow. It's not uncommon news that Blunt was to play the character that Scarlett Johansson continues to personify, even after her death in Endgame. Blunt had to walk out of the role due to scheduling conflicts with Gulliver's Travels. Although Black Widow is a titular character in the MCU, Blunt went on to say that she was kind of glad that she didn't go down that road. It took ages for Black Widow to get the standalone film her character deserved, and that too after tragically dying in Avengers Endgame. Now that being said, Blunt's ability to bring multiple facets to a character and proven combat skills would definitely make her a Black Widow worth celebrating. Dougray Scott has built a commendable career playing a variety of bad guys over the last 2 decades. He charmed audiences as Drew Barrymore's Fairy Tale Prince in Ever After, a role that signaled a promising run in Hollywood for Scott. If you flip through the early pages of his acting book, however, you might notice that Scott's rise could have been more meteoric. He was all set to play Wolverine, but had to pull out of the titular role due to scheduling conflicts with Mission Impossible 2. Scott has even gone on the record to say that Tom Cruise kept him from playing the part, saying that Tom did not allow him to leave without finishing Mission Impossible 2. Dougray was also considered to play James Bond on the heels of Pierce Brosnan's exit at one point, which also didn't pan out. Hugh Jackman and Daniel Craig have both become synonymous with Wolverine and James Bond over the years, so it's difficult to imagine anyone else in these iconic roles, even someone as promising as Dougray Scott. Amanda Seyfried had famously implied that she turned down the role in Guardians of the Galaxy because she, quote, didn't want to be green for 6 months out of every year, end quote. While it might be that the actress was referring to the role of Gamora, another part in the Marvel movie almost went to another actor. Had Joseph Gordon-Levitt not chosen to star in Sin City 2, there's a good chance we would have seen him as the iconic Star-Lord. Who? After starring in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy as John Blake, who was revealed to be Robin, Joseph was poised to play the part in a prospective Dark Knight spin-off, but Nolan, as we know, was done with the Batman franchise. This freed up Joseph's calendar to explore other roles. The actor was being considered for the role of Peter Quill, but was taken out of the race when he signed on to Sin City 2 as Johnny. The role eventually went to Chris Pratt, and it's safe to say that he made the perfect Star-Lord. This is an especially painful role swap because Sin City 2 is by no means on the same plane as Guardians of the Galaxy. Sir Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the best actors this century has seen. Apart from winning 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor and receiving knighthood, Day-Lewis is known for being very selective with his roles. The actor has famously turned down roles in The Lord of the Rings and Interview with a Vampire. He also turned down the lead role in the gripping 1993 film Philadelphia for a role in the Name of the Father instead. Philadelphia was a culturally significant film. It was one of the first mainstream Hollywood movies to talk about the biases faced by people with HIV/AIDS. Tom Hanks eventually got the part in Philadelphia, which won him an Oscar for Best Actor. Quite interestingly, Daniel was also a nominee for the Oscars that year for his work in the Name of the Father. Jim Carrey was remembered much more fondly in the 90s and early 2000s due to his staple slapstick performances.
Somebody stop me!
The actor hasn't made the news for many great things lately, and I'm wondering if he'd have gone on a different trajectory had he become Jack Sparrow. That's right.
Why is the rum always gone?
The pirate, whom Johnny Depp immortalized, could have been played by Jim Carrey if he hadn't have been busy with Bruce Almighty. Pirates of the Caribbean is a supremely popular franchise, which recently took actor Margot Robbie on board to lead a new female-led rendition of the series. Imagining anyone else but Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow seems almost criminal, but had Carrey taken on the role, it might just have steered his career and life in a different direction. Emma Stone is as mesmerizing on screen as she is on Broadway. Her breakthrough performances in Birdman and La La Land put her on the pedestal with top actors of the decade. Stone's easy charm makes her a great fit for a wide range of roles, so it's not a surprise that she made this list. The reason, though, is slightly different. In 2018, Variety reported that Emma Stone had to drop out of Greta Gerwig's acclaimed retelling of Little Women and was replaced by Emma Watson. The reason was Stone's promotional obligations for The Favorite. This isn't the first time that the two Emmas have been linked to each other's roles. In 2017, it was prematurely reported that Emma Watson would be in La La Land, although the casting had not exactly been set in stone. Watson's lead role in Beauty and the Beast was then finalized, and her involvement in La La Land fizzled out. The movie went through a lot of changes in the 6 years it took to make, which explains the casting change. Brad Pitt and Matt Damon have more in common than their shared screen time in the Ocean series and Happy Feet 2. Matt earned some serious action cred from the Bourne movies, so it's easy to forget that Jason Bourne was almost played by a different superstar entirely. Brad Pitt was initially cast to play the iconic spy, but had to step down due to his commitment to the movie Spy Game. Director Doug Liman had also had meetings with the likes of Sylvester Stallone and Russell Crowe for the part, but the role was meant to be Matt's. In an interview with BBC, he said that Matt understood the vision he had for the film and felt like a partner on the project. Spy Game was a good film, but it does not compare to the popularity of the Bourne series. That said, Brad had already put his combat skills on the map with Fight Club.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
And his acting portfolio flourished despite this one loss. Mia Wallace is a pop culture icon and one of the most quotable 90s characters. What Uma Thurman brought to the cult film has no parallels, especially if we now imagine Elaine from Seinfeld playing that part. That's right. Actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus was making waves with Seinfeld when Tarantino considered her as a potential Mia, possibly due to her strong comedy background. She had to turn the part down apparently due to her busy schedule on Seinfeld. Pulp Fiction firmly established Thurman as a leading Hollywood actress and laid the groundwork for her famous collaboration with Quentin Tarantino, which led to the creation of the Kill Bill movies. Julia Louis-Dreyfus made a rewarding career for herself on television and has won as many as 11 Emmys. She also received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in 2018, so it's safe to say that turning down the iconic part did not really put a big dent in the actor's career. Tom Hanks has a movie career that stretches over a little more than 4 decades. No movie list is complete without Hanks' name on it, even when it's a character he did not play. I'm talking about Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption, the most loved movie of all time. Tim Robbins gave an unforgettable performance in the classic jailbreak film as the man falsely accused of murdering his wife. A high-stakes role like this one being linked to Tom Hanks isn't surprising in the least. Hanks was offered the role, but passed due to scheduling conflicts with Forrest Gump. The choice worked in Tom's favor, as Forrest Gump won him his 2nd Academy Award. The Shawshank Redemption was also not a huge box office success back then, although it constantly tops IMDb's list of highest rated movies. Tom Hanks may have passed on this role, but he went on to work with Shawshank director Frank Darabont on his film The Green Mile, which was also set in prison. For actor Elizabeth Olsen, life happened between movie sets. As the younger sister of the famous Olsen sisters, Olsen's introduction to acting was organic. Spy Kids was her first audition, and although she did not get the part back then, Olsen pretty much eased into movies later in life. She's currently best known as the MCU's Scarlet Witch, a character that she has been playing since Age of Ultron. What's interesting is how close Olsen was at one point to being in yet another epic franchise. It was none other than the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Director J.J. Abrams apparently had a keen interest in casting Olsen as Rey, but she was committed to the Scarlet Witch role. Daisy Ridley eventually got the role and made her career breakthrough. Ridley's role arguably made a bigger splash with her portrayal of Rey, especially as a lesser-known name in the industry. However, Olsen's character has a promising future to look forward to, with a movie in the making and a TV series up for release. And that's my time with you for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to ScreenRant if you enjoy our videos. We'll see you next time.